special time when he gets to talk directly to the American people. I expect him to talk about the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act that was just signed into law about a month ago, talk about the jobs and the economy reports, the positive reports that we're hearing every day about jobs that are coming back to America, the bonuses, the pay increases, the improved benefits. I was at Starbucks this last week in Spokane where they were celebrating. There was a young manager. He and his wife had just given birth 4 months ago to a baby, and they were so excited about the increased benefits and pay that Starbucks had announced, and we're seeing those stories repeated over and over and over.
Yeah, we sure are, and that's a really good economic part of the message to be communicating. What about infrastructure? Now we're hearing that this infrastructure push is going to be part of the president's State of the Union, and it's going to cost $1.7 trillion. Is that the right number?
Well, you know, I do believe, and most Americans want to see us move forward with an infrastructure package. We're looking forward to hearing what the president has to say about more of the details related to infrastructure. It's kind of the next step as we continue to focus on jobs and the economy is that infrastructure that's so foundational to everything else. And so we want to hear more of those details. We also want to hear about the workforce development needs and the skills gap that is also associated with trying to get infrastructure projects in place, because we need more skilled workers.
Well, it's all the fight about the cost, right? I mean, it is $700 billion more than we initially thought. We thought it was going to be $1 trillion. Can you actually get across something that costs $1.7 trillion when obviously the left is talking about the debt and the $20 trillion, which was doubled over
Yes.
under President Obama? When I said, is that the right number, do you
Yes.
think that's going to fly, or is that the main cause of debate around an infrastructure plan?
Well, the big challenge has been how to pay for it. But the president also has laid out some important reforms to the permitting process, which would also save cost. There's some proposals for public partnerships,
Right.
That could bring down that cost. So, you know, I too am concerned about the debt. I think we do have to be aware of the continued accumulation of debt in this country, but we're also committed to growing jobs in the economy, and infrastructure is a part of that foundation. So anxious to hear what the president has to say, and then we'll go to work on more of those details.
Congresswoman, do you think you're going to get a DACA deal? I mean, you know, the pushback from Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi is a surprise because they wanted a DACA deal. The president put something on the table, and yet they're poo-pooing it.
Well, we need a DACA deal, and we need the Democrats to join us. I was encouraged first to hear the president lay out his vision for immigration and a DACA deal and securing the border. In the House and the Senate, we've had an agreement, a bipartisan, bicameral agreement for several weeks now on principles related to immigration reform that include a DACA fix, securing the border, the visa waiver program, as well as addressing chain migration. Now, we need to agree to the details, which is always more challenging, but I would just urge the Democrats not to play politics, to be serious about this issue, which clearly needs to be addressed. The president gave us till March 5th, and he's willing to give us more time on the DACA fix, but we need that sooner rather than later.
What are you going to do going into the 2018 elections, Congresswoman, in terms of keeping the party in the majority? There's a lot of conversation happening now that, you know, typically you do lose seats going into the midterms. And given the pushback of this president, that's what was expected until, of course, you had some real important pieces of legislation done, like tax reform and going into the immigration possibility as well, a deal there.
Right.
But what are you doing specifically going into the 2018 elections?
We're going to run on our record, a record of results. We're going to focus on the job creation, the improved economy that is benefiting every person in this country. Clearly, the Democrats want to make this about Donald Trump, and they want to make it about what he's saying or doing, but we need to focus on results, and we have a great record. The Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, as it continues to be implemented, is very positive. In February, we're expecting 90% of wage earners to see increased take-home pay as the tables are updated to reflect this new law. And we just need to continue